because what 2025 needs is another man with a microphone. Already, I know how this looks. I can confirm to you that this is not a podcast in the slightest. And that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that I'm here to just give you my worst hot takes, humiliate myself in front of the masses. That is a stereotype pushed by big podcasts to... Hi. I don't remember how to speak to a camera. So my name is... Let's probably look up. My name is Emmanuel, and this is... If you don't know me, great. If you know me, oh God, for the past 5 years, I've been a sketch comedy content creator on TikTok and Instagram, and it's been fucking phenomenal. And, I've built like a humble following, only 628,000. It's not a flex. It's nothing crazy. I make these cool videos. I write, edit, film, act in them all myself. It's very tiring. Very tiring. So I guess you can see why I've devolved to this. This feels more like an evolution for me. I feel like I'm a yapper anyway, but y'all don't know that because I'm too busy playing a character. Over the past 5 years, I feel like I haven't done a good job connecting with my audience. So I guess this is me attempting to do that. I feel like an estranged father. Hey son, how are you? And it's been 17 years. True story. Anyway, what inspired me to do content? Being a child in the 2000s, you obviously grew up with unrestricted access to the internet. Thankfully, I wandered to this funny little website called YouTube, and I stayed there. Given what the internet was back then, it could have gotten weirder. I stayed pretty close to home, and I grew up watching a lot of sketch comedy creators, from Dashie to Jack and Dean, Tom Scott, Smosh, people like that. I was a huge fan. I devoured their content as much as possible, and I still do to this day. Of course, when Vine blew up and then died, a lot of people came over to YouTube. Caleb City's another one, another huge inspiration for my sketch comedy. I get inspiration from anywhere, but I was basically a YouTube kid. So yeah, up next, do you see yourself doing stand-up comedy? At one point in my life, I did. I grew up watching reruns of sitcoms like The Fresh Prince, Family Matters, all that stuff. I was watching a lot of black comedian stand-up specials. I knew Eddie Murphy's Delirious word for word by the age of 12, which I shouldn't have. And when you're growing up with self-esteem issues, you kind of rely on humor as a crutch. At least I did. Not that I'm not funny, but I would just try to be funny to get people to like me. Turns out I don't like a lot of people. But do I see myself doing stand-up comedy? Honestly, yes and no. Yes, because I like talking. No, because I'm incredibly shy. Last year, actually on my birthday, I hosted a movie screening for The Crow. It was a theater full of 100 people, and I was fucking terrified. And this is coming from a person that's built a platform of hundreds of thousands of people. You see what I'm saying? I think the most views my video's ever gotten is like 8 mil. 100 people, I'm freaking out. So, yeah, no. When are you gonna give us new content? I tend to take very long breaks from content creating. It's because it gets very exhausting. And while I love my job, one downside of it is that it's very isolating. I don't see my friends very often unless it's on the phone or we're texting. And it's kind of hard to keep up with a very consistent posting schedule. And that's kind of why I shifted more towards this, because this is easier for me to do. I still feel fulfillment from doing it. And it kind of allows me to build that energy back up to make things like that. And while they may not be as often, every once in a while it was cool. Would you agree? Agree. A question I get all the time is, what camera do you use? What lens do I use? What equipment? I have a Sony A7C and I use a kit lens. That's it. I got a cheap Manfrotto tripod from Best Buy for like $50. This is what I use. I feel like a lot of people when it comes to content creation focus on the equipment. And I know this because I did it myself. It does not matter. As long as what you're making at its core is very interesting and very important to you, that's all that matters. People will feel that. But it is nice to make things look nice. Where do you get your clothes? I'm glad somebody asked. I don't know. As much as I like fashion, I really don't go clothes shopping too often because clothes are fucking expensive. But sometimes I wander into a store, I pick out things that are interesting to me. Like for example, this jacket I got from Forever 21 a couple years ago. Sometimes I thrift, not very often, but I get some cool shit there too. And as much as I like to think I put that shit on, I don't. So now I'm gonna move on to questions I ask myself, because I wish somebody would ask me these questions. Hey Emmanuel, what are some of your hobbies? Thank you for asking. I love basketball, Formula One. I just got into Formula One I think 2 years ago after watching Drive to Survive. I know it's bullshit. I love music. I make playlists on Spotify and Apple Music all the time. I love movies too, and there's a lot of classics I haven't seen. So I've been spending the last year of my life trying to absorb as much as possible. And I have a letterbox that you should follow. Hint, hint. And I game a little bit, a lot of it, every day. I don't stream. I used to, not that much anymore. It might come back. We'll think about it. By the way, we is me. And I'm not thinking about it. Oh, actually, someone did ask me what's in my music rotation right now. I actually have a series that I do every year called The Rotation. And it's basically the songs that I'm listening to heavily at the very moment. I think there's already 60 songs in there. I don't know. But I make one every year, and those are the songs that I love at this very moment. Check it out. It's on Spotify and Apple Music. I update them both. So, favorite movie, Over the Hedge. Over the Hedge is a one-of-a-kind movie. The star-studded cast, the Ben Folds soundtrack. Are you kidding me? Rockin' the sun. Just saved you from a clip of me singing. You got lucky this time, but let this be your first and final warning that my kindness is always a choice, and never the first one. You've been warned. Bye. 10 out of 10 movie, hands down. Should have won an Oscar. Argue with your mother. Do you read? Yes. If so, what is your favorite book? This is kind of tough because I haven't read a book that really interested me since the Harry Potter series. I was gifted the box set of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and that was before I knew it was smut and that the author is a dirtbag. I did used to read a lot of comics. Actually, Lore Drop, I wanted to be a comic book artist at one point. But that dream quickly died down when I realized I couldn't draw anything other than Spider-Man. But I did recently read Matt Fraction's Invincible Iron Man run, which I thought it was phenomenal. But yeah, that's all I wrote in the notebook for now. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, that doesn't. Be sure to like the video if you like the video. And if you don't like the video, then you hate me. And this is who you're being mean to. Yeah, you don't like that guilt, do you? Sit in that. Reflect. Okay, bye. I'm gonna get annoyed. I paid my bill and it said I didn't pay my bill. I'm gonna pay my bill again. I'm gonna pay my bill again.